I just want to say mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We're gonna go with the podcast vibe today. Today I feel podcast. Big shout out to Joanne. Big shout out to Angel Granny. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate it. They said in court, we strongly believe in Bryan Kohberger innocence. I don't know if y'all heard what I heard in court today. Big shout out to Angel Granny. We catch you up yet, no worries. The replay is actually better than the live sometimes. You know, I chop it up. Make sure we get with the meats and potatoes. The music is a plus. Don't worry, no have to apologize at all. The music is a plus. You know, that just to get everyone listening to the talent of Demon Entertainment, and also to get everyone trickle in. Let me introduce myself. I'm the host of the most, the thing to the tango, the jing to the jango, Jrod on point, true crime. We're here today to talk about Ann Taylor is the best attorney, is the best defense legal representation the Kohberger could have right now. I'll explain as we go. For those that they haven't catch up yet, or actually not paying attention to what's going on in court. You know, we understand not every content creator pay attention to detail as we do. So it's fair for them to miss out on in details and probably due to their inexperience in life overall. You know, you could have experience in certain things, but that don't mean that you have experience in analyzing the facts in the case, what is being presented in the public. Analyze that, then bring it back and watch what's going on in court. For those that knows how to read between the lines and knows how to put two and two together, it makes sense of what it doesn't make sense. Like us, the things that don't make sense for other people, 9 times out of 10 we see here, we break it down to the atom. Give you the rice and beans, beans and potato. Rice and beans, meats and potatoes. Because in reality, that's all what we do here in Jrod on Point True Crime. We try to keep it right down the middle, unbiased. And we try to articulate the best we can so that people see that right now, what is a dark cloud in the media out there brought to the table by the state. Again, let's be clear. News media outlets, major news media outlets, and the majority of big true crime content creators on all platforms, 9 times out of 10 like to run with the state narrative. I look at that like looking for favors or looking to be recognized at some point. You know, it's like I do for you, you do something for me. That's, I don't know. It seems very, very out in the open, like how some, let's say for example, some YouTube true crime content creators force a narrative down people's throat. No Diddy. Yes, indeed, John. It was a great day for BK. Yes. I believe that this is like the first time ever after, wow, a year plus, the defense team made a statement, a power statement. What is a power statement? Because for the stages that we've seen on bias from the media, from creators of all platforms, everything is being pushed against this guy Kohberger. You know, it hit different when you have family members of the victims promoting hate on this guy. For example, when they say like, oh, you're gonna come from out of state, come here to this community, that's pressing gang mentality within the community. For example, I explain, oh, you're gonna come from other community. Let's say, for example, we're gonna come from another state to our state, and you're gonna think that you're gonna kill our children and you're gonna get away with that. Right? But they complaining about a violation of a gag order that it was no violation, nowhere to be found, and it was proven today in court. The prosecution is not just not ready at all whatsoever, but also they creating issues where there's no issues to be found. They making the defense team looking shady, and then they complain when the defense team point at the judge and point at the prosecution for violations of due process. You could tell, all due respect to Judge John Judge, this guy has his mind made up. This guy has his mind made up while appearing with all type of style of mentality. For example, let me cut the music up. We're getting in the meats and potatoes right now. We get into the meats and potatoes. Let's put the music out. Let's cut it out. Big shout out to everyone watching. Thank you for being here. It's Jrod on point. It seems in a way they've been creating the record in court as the mentality, the thought process utilized not just from the court, but also the prosecution. It seems like a medieval, like centuries way to think. Like sometimes, like I don't know if they want to create the false illusion like these people live in their own bubble, which in my personal opinion, that's all a cap. I think these people are fully aware, and when I say these people, I'm talking about the court, prosecution, defense, law enforcement, everyone involved within this case. The state been pushing a narrative about Bryan Kohberger since day one. They have utilized the highest of the highest, the most reputable news media outlets, for example, they use the tactic of utilizing Nancy Grace today, way before, way before the hearing started. I would like to believe it was like 45 minutes up to an hour before the hearing start. Nancy Grace uploaded a hit piece on Bryan Kohberger. And I believe they publish it like right before the court hearing. So the defense team, if that was the case, wouldn't be able to utilize that footage due to the probably they don't even have knowledge that the Nancy Grace just uploaded an hour before the hearing, which of course not gonna allow them to be ready to challenge that and actually include that piece in what's going on right now, even making the defense team looking ignorant, toddler-like. Yeah, I heard the judge today being very biased and very disrespectful to the defense team. Caveat, 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 caveat. It's on record, Judge. It's on record. And that's one of the highest form of not just showing the public how biased you are towards prosecution, but also unfair and disrespectful to Ann Taylor and her team, making them look like inadequate and not ready for the task in hand. If you ask me, ladies and gentlemen, that's very unfair, very unethical, and it shouldn't not have a place in court, especially coming from a judge, acting like he's totally unknown, like giving me the sense sometimes the judge, John Judge, and this is my personal opinion, is actually incompetent, very incompetent. Because if you're not informed of all aspects and basics of this criminal case, the ups and downs, in the same way you got to see the IGG record. Cheers. Big shout out to Miss Martin. But in the same way, John Judge got to see the records in total, in completion, in full completion. The judge is fully aware of details in this case that it needs to come out. This is the same materials that Ann Taylor want to take a look at in full with her team of investigators. Let's be clear. At this day today, after a year plus, with everything the defense team knows about this case, they absolutely and strongly confirm today that at this day today, where we at these stages of this case, they strongly believe that Bryan Kohberger is innocent. Looking at everything available to them at this day today, and we stand by our take that we firmly believe, due to our own personal and private investigation as civilians, cyber sleuthers, we end up with the conclusion that Bryan Kohberger didn't have no part and nothing to do with these killings. That's just our firm belief. And we also believe that Ann Taylor and her team are the best for the job. We're going to be looking at the footage today of it was the earlier hearing when prosecution made that big argument about issues within the survey. This is that hearing that we was talking about, that we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna pay attention to what they place on record, the language, the tone, so we could have a proper unbiased perspective of what's going on. Deep tissue, because they speak, and if we pay attention and we do listen, we could see details that shows the court in very, very biased positions, looking like they have their mind made up. And also tag teaming with the prosecution, making the defense team not looking very professional. So we're going to pay attention to the conversation on record, and we're going to stop to have our takes and our understanding about it. Big shout out to everyone watching. This Jrod on Point. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Mr. Nye is remote, and Ms. Beatty?
She's not with us today. She's tied up with some other obligations in Boise job.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so we have several issues to address today. And so maybe we should just start with the state's motion for order prohibiting contact with prospective jurors absent leave of court. Mr. Thompson?
Thank you, Your Honor. And to start, I want to help frame what the issue really is today. We are not here to debate whether the defense contracting for public surveys on public sentiment and that sort of thing is or isn't appropriate. That's not the issue at all.
I agree.
Our sole concern today is the nature of certain questions that have been propounded to residents of Lake Tahoe County by a survey company that's contracted by the defense. And we are specifically concerned with how those questions line up in light of this court's very clear non-dissemination order. I think the best place to start is to go to the court's June 23rd of 2023 non-dissemination order. And in paragraph...
Before Bill Thompson continue the argument, prosecution is acting like it's the first time that they have to deal with weird survey for this type of case. They're fully aware of the surveys to be legit. They have to follow the statutes of the Supreme Court. People that make these surveys, they have standards that they have to follow by law to make their survey be any relevant in court. Bill Thompson is acting like he never has faced a survey before. Very back in the day, old school way to think. and the way they present it. I think they exaggerating the morals in the questionnaire, or the intent of the questionnaire, but it's clear, it's very clear to us and to a lot of people in the true crime community. Is very clear. There is no problem with this survey whatsoever. Why? I explain. Everything in the media that is being taken with weight of credibility comes from sources that utilize the state as a source. So those takes, and those reports are gonna be very state-like. That means are not gonna be in favor of the defendant. Everything and anything that is available out there at this day today, and that survey, everything is out in the open, all the way up from news media outlets, all the way to the smallest YouTuber, true crime content creator. Those that run the state narrative, for a fact, they have even attacked. And when I mean attack, is going at in a disrespectful way. Going at other content creators to enforce their narrative, to try to bully their way into changing someone else's perspective, or try to bully their way to make someone change their mind with baseless arguments. That for people like me that have do their homework since day one in this case, when y'all speak, I don't hear nothing. And I repeat, and I'm going to make it very clear, with what it has to do with this Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case. It don't matter if you're a big or small content creator in YouTube true crime. When you talk about this case, even when I believe that you're having a pretty good argument, or a pretty good articulation about it, even in those times, I still don't hear nothing coming out of your mouth that it makes sense. Y'all patch it up here and there and putting, y'all very good looking at what other people is talking about. Y'all very good at that, but y'all not good on doing your own homework. That's your problem. You need to focus on you and not worry about what other people is talking about you. You need to talk what you believe in your heart, and you have to represent you. Who cares about what anyone else is talking about? As long as you do your homework, you know what's true, what's right from wrong. Believe in yourself, like I tell people all the time. Believe in yourself, because other people don't have your heart. Other people don't have your spirit. Other people don't have your mind. So you can't just be following people that, even though you get it kind of like a bad vibe out of those people, you still giving the benefit of the doubt because they're popular. That's where you make your mistake. I don't care how popular you is in YouTube true crime. When I see you not having a take that is actually good, I share it. When it's something good, like harsh reality, I share harsh reality stuff. I share Miss Martin stuff, Speak My Holding stuff, Sam stuff. I share a lot of people that I believe on their talent. You know what I mean? Again, my numbers right now might be small, but again, I was pretty high up there, not just in views, but also in subscriptions. So to be where I'm at today is hard work, doing a lot of homework, and try to be the best content creator that I could be. But I say that to say this. All the narrative that all these content creators in social media and the news media outlets being unbiased since day one. And as unbiased they looked at, they still are biased. Because they make it sound like they just being unbiased. That's the trick. They make it sound like they being unbiased and they go by their knowledge. They going by their what they know. Because they study for that. Like a lot of people in the news media outlets, some of them ex FBI, ex DAs, and stuff like that. They making it sound real good, like they being very unbiased. But if you look at it deep tissue and really listen to the message, you could tell that everything in the media out there is being biased while they making it sound unbiased. That's the trick, though. A lot of people fall for it. Again, reputations, high number of subscriptions, and you know what I mean? People give you the benefit of the doubt because your numbers, because your reputation or whatnot. But sometimes people need to sit down and listen and be like, whoa, hold on. But in reality, what the majority, because again, those that we believe that Bryan Kohberger is innocent are very minute. Sometimes it feels like I'm the only one believing in these guys' innocence. Because literally that's how it feels. Like every time I scroll up there, it's like people like, if they not like right on the fence, it's like they scared to say what they believe. And that's weak, especially when we all grown adults here. You know. We're gonna listen to the argument. Bill Thompson. They say these questions are trouble when these questions in the survey all came out of the media and what the state has been putting out there. Let's continue.
Enumerated number one, starting at the bottom of page one. The court ordered that counsel for all the parties and any of our agents and other attorneys are prohibited from making extrajudicial statements, written or oral, that the lawyer or agent knows or reasonably should know will have a substantial likelihood of materially prejudicing or otherwise influencing the outcome of the case. And that's essentially the language out of Idaho Professional Conduct Rule 346. But what is particularly important today is the next sentence. Your Honor directed, this order specifically prohibits any out-of-court statement which a reasonable person would expect to be disseminated by means of public communication that relates to the following. And among the items listed are the identity or nature of evidence expected to be presented at trial or any sentencing phase. Any information a lawyer knows or reasonably should know is likely to be inadmissible at trial, and that would, if disclosed, create a substantial risk of prejudicing impartial trial. And it goes further down to say this includes performance or results of examinations or tests. Our concern here is that the questions that are being propounded on behalf of the defense, and let me stop for just a moment. I want to be clear on this.
Can we see Mr. Bill Thompson running in circles? I don't know about you, but what it seems to me is that Bill Thompson don't even know what to say. That's just my personal opinion. He's looking for something to say. It shows that he's not ready for his articulation in court. It seems like he don't even care.
We met with Ms. Taylor last week. Week before last. The 21st.
Thursday,
Yeah,
before the Friday.
Thursday before the Friday when we filed our motion. Yeah.
Yes.
And we raised our concerns with Ms. Taylor. She confirmed for us that the survey was being conducted on behalf of the defense. And we raised with her the concerns we had about the specific language of the questions that were being asked. And Ms. Taylor represented to us, and I do not dispute this, that's why I want to make this part of the record, that she had not seen the actual questions themselves, that she had approved the topics that could be looked into during the survey. So I want to put that.
So to make it clear, that right there cancels any argument that could come out of the prosecution team. How the defense team is going to violate the non-dissemination order when they not aware of the questions that are about to be put together for the survey. Right there and then, out of Bill Thompson's mouth, he said that he don't believe, but he don't have no proof that Ann Taylor or her team had anything to do with the questionnaire. That right there cancels all the argument of this hearing, and it makes this hearing a waste of time. In the same way we just had another hearing today, that it was another waste of time and a delay of justice. If you're following my drift, Bill Thompson just expressed to the court, acting like he don't know what the surveys are all about. And in this one particularly, everything that this survey put out there is the same things the state has allowed to come out. In one way or other, the state and their fly monkeys from news media outlets has made this narrative against Bryan Kohberger while sounding unbiased. That's the trick. It's a very, very serious matter that sometimes I just sit here and I'm baffled for the things that I'm hearing on record in this courthouse. Let's continue.
In the record that we are not accusing Ms. Taylor of drafting these questions verbatim and then say, go send these out to the public.
So right there, you just lose and lost all your argument, Mr. Bill Thompson. Because you're blaming or tried to blame the defense to be nefarious in a way these surveys out there. But unfortunately for you, Mr. Bill Thompson, they have proof that everything that is being shared and the way and the model to follow to create this survey is highly recommended and qualified in Superior Court. Bill Thompson, with this argument, he's wasting everyone's time. He's delaying justice, not just for the victims, but also for Bryan Kohberger, while caring about everything else but justice for all. This is a waste of time, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're seeing right here, the waste of time of taxpayer money, and there's no one to stop this, seems like. Let's continue.
We are concerned, though, that the people hired by the defense to conduct this survey did exactly that. And the examples of the things that are of concern can be found in the transcript of one of the calls, as Your Honor will recall, We had a person come to us who had received one of these calls, had actually reported the call. And so our office prepared a transcript, and that was attached as Exhibit B, I believe, to our motion for order prohibiting contact. In addition to generic questions about the criminal justice system, here's where we get to things that concern the state immensely.
Before he said that, this is how you could tell that the state had people waiting for the survey call. This is how it seems like. It seems this way due to, in a way, they presented in court. Because what's the chances that someone got concerned about the survey and the questionnaire and then called the sheriff and the sheriff called prosecution and whatnot, and they made a huge deal about something that is nothing? That tells me and tells a lot of people that the state had their people waiting for the survey call to make a big issue out of a non-issue, making it sound like a concerned citizen was concerned about in the way that the survey was handled or it was presented. I say that's cap. I said the state have their people waiting for their call, for the survey call, to make an issue out of a non-issue because they know they cannot act Bill Thompson if he's not out there fully aware of what is being shared in the news media outlets, being the state. If the judge is not fully aware of what's out there, being the judge, because obviously Ann Taylor is on top of it. This is why Ann Taylor is the best for the job. Now, those content creators that don't believe in Ann Taylor, man, listen, it's okay. I totally understand you don't have the skills of understanding of certain things that are far away from your capabilities. I totally understand that. But at the same time, you got to give yourself the opportunity to sit back and be like, pay attention to details since the beginning of all. And realize that at this day today, prosecution not just don't have nothing on Mr. Kohberger at this day today by the defense team, technically saying that they have this man locked up with no proof at this day today, violating his constitutional rights as we speak. And while we have all these violation of human rights, we have not just content creators, but we have the state forcing a narrative against the defense team to make him look inadequate, making him look like they're not ready for the task in hand. But let me tell you right here in Jrod on Point True Crime, we believe that Ann Taylor and her team is the best for the job to represent Bryan Kohberger. And we're going to enter into more takes about that in a little bit. Let's continue. Let's see what's the concerns of Bill Thompson about the same monster he created.
Question. Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home in Pennsylvania? Question. Have you read, seen?
That's being shared out there from news media outlets.
Or heard if police found a knife sheath on the bed next to one of the victims?
That was shared by the news media outlets.
Question. Have you read, seen, or heard that DNA found on the knife sheath was later matched to Bryan Kohberger?
That was shared by news media outlets.
Question. Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger owned the same type of car recorded on video driving in the neighborhood where the killings occurred?
That was also shared by news media outlets.
Have you seen, read, seen, or heard if the cell phone tower data showed that Bryan Kohberger made several trips near the victim's home in the month before the killing?
And that information was shared by news media outlets, and also is the information that they talk about so purely like that's the smoking gun with the DNA is the smoking gun, when the cast from the SBI is not even available as we speak today. It is like a preliminary report, but the full work of the cast is not available yet. So how can news media outlets or anyone that implies that their sources tells them, which their sources 9 times out of 10 are the state law enforcement or people that it has to do with the investigation from the state side of things, they put all this information out there. And now Bill Thompson having a problem with this? Can anyone, like, is it me? Is it me? Or can y'all see the damage that the prosecution is doing, not just to the victims, but also to Bryan Kohberger as an alleged innocent into proven guilty at this day today, especially when there's no proof about his wrongdoing at this day today. Again, I want to repeat all these questions that you're hearing right now as we speak that are a concern for Bill Thompson in court is the same information that is being shared by all media outlets, even all true crime creators in all platforms around the world. So this is a waste of time. Again, prosecution keep looking at, keep delaying. Let's keep this man as long as possible, as legal as possible. Let's keep him in here. And then we just got to let him go because we don't have nothing, making everyone looking stupid and then having excuses for it. That this is just not fair.
Have you read, seen, or heard if the university students in Moscow and their parents lived in fear until Bryan Kohberger was arrested for the murders?
And yes, everybody was talking that everyone was freaking out, and that was shared in news media outlets. Everyone was freaking out until they caught Kohberger, and everybody was celebrating and shit. Weird.
Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger said that he was out driving alone on the night of the murders?
That was shared by the news media outlets. So you're gonna tell me that every single question that Bill Thompson has a problem with is the same information that he shared to the news media outlets? The same information that the state law enforcement and agencies, including prosecution, the same information that everyone is available to see at this day today, which that is not on a gag order. Everything that he's talking about is out there on seal. People need to pay attention to detail. Nothing that is sealed right now as we speak is on that questionnaire. Hopefully people start using their mind from now on. Let's pay attention and listen.
Have you read, seen, or heard if Bryan Kohberger stalked one of the victims? Have you read?
And that was one of the things that it was more published than anything else. How Bryan Kohberger is an incel and he's stalking the girls, and everyone, yes, he's stalking Maddie, and you know, making Maddie the target and stuff like that, confusing the whole thing. Because people obviously are confused. They're not paying attention in detail to what's really going on. That is out there in the public. You just gotta read between the lines. But no, people just don't know how to expand their mentality, their elevate the levels of thinking, brainstorming, having the proper perspective of what's in hand, man. I don't get how people could have a biased take on something that you can't even be biased knowing that what we know, knowing what I know. You can't even be biased against Kohberger, like in reality, because knowing what I know about this case, the same things that the defense team, I don't know what they know. I know what I know. But let's say if that was the case, the same things that I know is the things that they know. For a fact, Bryan Kohberger is gonna get dismissal for lack of evidence at some point. Because again, it seems prosecution is looking forward to delay while making the defense team looking bad, like they are the ones delaying. The defense team being reactive with this motion right here. Bill Thompson making an issue out of a non-issue. Now Ann Taylor have to react to this because the judge already took a decision on stop the whole process. So the judge put a stay on all the process to then have the view that the hearing that they had today, that it was another waste of time, because this information that it will share today in this hearing, and then in this hearing that we show the one before it, these two hearings was a waste of time from the prosecution, stopping the process of the defense team to get going. Let's continue.
We had seen or heard if Bryan Kohberger had followed one of the victims on social media.
And that, even though if it's true or not, everything on each one of those questions that Bill Thompson just presented to the court, each one of those questions, it was insinuations coming out of the news media outlets with sources close to the state. What they call their sources, and we know this is a fact. Their sources come from the state. So everything that is out there as we speak, it was because the state decided to share whatever they share. And due to what they have available against this man, looks shady. And I repeat, everything that is being spoke about against Bryan Kohberger, everything looks shady and very shaky in court. So shaky in court that Bill Thompson, he said today, "Oh, Judge, I'm not ready for this." How can you have a hearing today that you was not ready for? And then to make yourself look good, then you stand up to ask some questions, and everything that you was asking, it was malicious. It was twisting reality. Try to make it look like Bill Thompson has a different reality than what reality is, and enforce an issue that is not an issue. I know it's levels for consciousness. I totally understand that is levels of consciousness that people has not reached in their life yet. It don't matter how old you are. It's things that it comes when you have high levels of consciousness. When you elevate and you see outside of the spectrum that is presented to you, and you, due to the lack of will to get to the information that you need to increase your levels of awareness, information, knowledge, so then your levels of consciousness get to the point that you understand when people are utilizing due to the highest levels of smarts. Because believe me, these people looking incompetent, but they are all very smart people. This is just a play. It's a 100% a play. Because even the judge creating an issue of a non-issue, acting that this is an issue that he has to take decisions in the way he took one to making a state, a judge state. He froze all process for no reason. For no reason at all whatsoever. The judge, instead of, in the same way he said, well, the damage was done already, he should have let it all be. And understand, again, if you're fully aware, judge, that you are fully aware of the realities of all. It don't matter what they present to you or how they try to paint it to you, you are going to take the right decisions, in no matter what type of song they sing to you to try to hypnotize you. It don't matter what song prosecution could sing to the judge should know and be fully aware of everything, especially the type of motions like this that the judge, this cannot be the first time the judge come across a survey. And the judge prejudge on the defense teams and give the prosecution the right that they don't have of stopping all process from the defense team, acting like the defense team it being devious. Again, they say that the defense team and Taylor, they violated the gag order with these questions. But you're the same breath, you said that you believe, you know, and you understand, you believe there is no proof that Ann Taylor had anything to do with the questionnaires. So how Ann Taylor or her team violated anything that she has not spoke about or have anything to do with? Even the guy said it today. The guy of the survey, he said it today. It don't matter what would you tell me. I'm not changing the process of how I'm doing my survey for quality control. That's why when I was seeing the judge try to act all condescending and try to see if the guy would change the way they do the survey, that's interfering with a witness on something that the judge should know by case law. He was not even supposed to do that. He was not even supposed to take that position in court and try to influence a change on a survey process that is guarded by superior court. Big shout out to Miss Hollie Martin. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. I'm sorry, I've been losing my shit over here watching this hearing. Oh my God. Yes. It'll be great. It'd be great if you want to share your position and your take on that. If you don't mind, I'll send the click. I'll send the click real quick. It's right there. Today, the topic is Ann Taylor and her team, to me, it seems like her and her team are the best for the job to represent Bryan Kohberger as we speak today. And if you ask me today, they proved that to everyone. Meanwhile, they were saying that no one is facing for Kohberger, that no one is standing tall with Kohberger, no one is defending Kohberger. Meanwhile, everybody's laughing, saying that no one is standing by Kohberger. What the defense team did in the middle of a court attack from the judge and from the prosecution, because this is a on record malicious prosecution. The same thing in the same motion. Big shout out to Ms. Hollie Martin. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Guys,
Hey, Jrod.
we have the amazing, the original Hollie, Miss.
I'm getting my stuff hooked up.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate
I'm
it.
not completely on.
No worries. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Today I'm doing, the podcast, the cam off today because I wanted to make sure that everyone is focusing on the message. Because sometimes the people focusing too much on the image and they don't focus on the message. So today, due to this case and this topic, it was very, very important to me. And thank you for being here with us, Miss Hollie Martin. Thank you, very appreciated. Can you hear me?
I am hearing two of you.
Oh my God. I have everything here. You're probably gonna have to close mute your YouTube and you'll be able to hear me through StreamYard.
I'm on StreamYard.
Yeah. Let me know if the echo's still there though.
Oh,
Let me know. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check
That's
one
what
two
you
1
do.
2.
sorry.
You got it? Whoops. We lost Miss Martin. Big shout out to Miss Martin. She should be coming back. The link is on top. Big shout out to Joanne. Thank you for being here. Joanne, is a big, big, big day for Mr. Kohberger. It was amazing in the way his defense team in the middle of being surrounded by criticism, like on granted, not granted. We have Hollie Martin back with us. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it.
Hey, Jrod.
Can you hear me better? Everything good?
I can. It was on my end.
Nah, you're good though. I appreciate you.
Oh,
Thank you for being here.
I got late to the hearing. They should have waited for me.
So
Oh, I am
you know
just
what though?
informed.
So now that we have you here, right now, Bill Thompson in this footage, he's presenting to the court his concerns on the questionnaires about the survey. I was telling the audience earlier that in reality, like if we really sit there and look at it, um, the same questions that Bill Thompson is making an issue is exactly what's out there that everybody been listening to for a long time.
Exactly.
Like how incompetent, because Hollie, I'm sorry, I have to use that word. I know it's a very, very, very strong word for a DA. and for a DA office. Um, I'm baffled, flabbergasted by the incompetency and the level of non-modern procedures or style or technique. Like the arguments are not eloquent. Like they force in. It's just my personal opinion, Holly. And please, I would love to hear your take on this. In my opinion, it's a shame that a prosecutor will stand there and with a serious face will make an issue out of questions that the state sources have gave to the news media outlets.
Right?
Can you interject with that though?
Yes, absolutely. I don't know if you seen my video that I did on the first one last week, but
I
I don't
have
know.
to I have to get in touch with that because I think I watched like the latest one, but I think the last two I haven't because I was in the middle of uploading and doing studio stuff. But don't worry, I'll
Yeah.
catch up. I promise.
Well, but you are absolutely correct. And with what you're saying about the DA. And now what's going on? I mean, I am just thank God. Thank God today that the judge finally allowed an expert to get on the stand for the defense. And we finally heard the defense say that they absolutely 100% believed in their client's innocence. And so that was
Yes,
wonderful to finally hear.
I believe that
And
that was a very powerful statement today. Please continue.
yes, and I was so so elated over that because the way that expert held his composure when Bill was coming at him with, I mean, you'd have thought we were in trial today.
He
Just
even tried to use Bill even tried to use when the guy said, "Well, I don't care if it's truth or not. What I'm pointing out there is what's out there." He said, "Oh,
I
but you say you don't care. Oh, thank you so much. That's all I wanted to hear." Try to use that like he don't like. Oh my God! Like he did this on record.
Oh my gosh, but I'll tell you, he held himself. He held his composure. Even the judge, when the judge was asking him questions, he was answering them, and he was so great.
I
Which
was
just
I was yelling on the top of my lungs when he was questioning the witness, the expert, because like the first two questions, like right away as soon as he spoke, I was like, objection, 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 objection. Everything that you say, I'm objecting. And I don't know where Ann Taylor got up and said, Judge, I object. And Bill Thompson got upset. And she said, no, Bill, let me finish my
yeah,
objection.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, who
It was
said,
the
who,
best. It was
yes,
the
who said,
best today.
it's like, who said that Ann Taylor's not fighting for this guy?
Right? And then the other gal that came and kind of summed it up,
yes,
and finished it up and told the judge, you if you don't allow us to continue or make a decision on change of venue, you are denying our client, who we know is innocent, of his right.
and also in a way, her the biggest argument that she have is that she have the authority on case file from the superior court. Like this is guarded. Like all these decisions that the judge try to make and what they try to do, they playing with something that is guarded by the superior court. So that if again superior court send it back to district, I believe that right now as they speak, superior court don't see no issue yet with the procedures. So then here and Taylor have to make a record with motions. The crazy thing is that Ann Taylor now she's defending herself not
Mhm.
just from prosecution but from the court. because John, Judge John, take the position as it's a concern for him. So he literally stamping the prosecution argument. What you think about that? The judge is stamping the prosecution's argument like the unbiased went out the door.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Um, they need to. I know that at a while back, I remember you saying to me that you thought that they should stay where they are.
Yeah.
Based on what you know, do you think that still?
Well, right now, as we speak, right now they stalling everything though. It's a motion. Like soon as the judge make the decision with our hearing and making a stay from the court, like it's not a stay from prosecution, it's not a stay from the defense, it's the judge taking the decision of staying the procedures to take a look at something that is not an issue, but they creating an issue of a non-issue. So what happened with that is they're now on the stage to move the case out of Layton County that's get postponed for two extra months when they were about to just go and have a hearing about, put this in motion to get out of Layton County. So right now, as we speak, it's a forced stay that I believe, if you ask me, is on benefit of Bryan Kohberger, even though it's not on benefit, because in my position and my take is like, is hurting the due process, and
Yeah.
they masking it with procedures and loopholes that they could utilize in a malicious way while they look into they doing due process. So this stay, as we speak right now, is on benefit of Bryan Kohberger because it's gonna show the position of the court and the position of the prosecution in this case, and it's gonna have a clear record for Superior Court if things don't move accordingly.
Okay. Now I'm following you. Okay. Okay.
Right. That's where we
I'm
at this
sorry.
stage. No, don't worry, you're good. I
It's
appreciate your
like,
questions. No, and that allows me to breaking it down for the community. Your questions is
yeah.
amazing questions. Like allow the community to listen my deep conscience within what's going on within this case. Because again, right now to finalize answering your question, yeah, I believe that right now it's a good situation in the middle of a bad situation because it's creating record,
Yeah.
and that record at some point, if it gets to a situation that is evident foul play and is evident that there is no due process in looking forward for because right now, if you ask me, the same thing that Ann Taylor just told everyone in court, the only person that it gets either benefit or not benefit out of what's going on here in court is Bryan Kohberger. This is not like right now as we speak, and it hurts for me to say and be so realistic, but Ann Taylor brought it to the table, so might as well we should be also be realistic.
Yeah.
This is not about the victims at this stage in court.
No. And
It's not about them, because if it was
yeah.
about them, the prosecution and the court wouldn't know by common sense to speed up the process in the same way we caught the guy and the way we caught him. Let's put it all together. So we be fair, not just to the guy that we're gonna prosecute, but we're gonna be fair to the victims.
Mm-hmm.
But and Taylor did a amazing take today. That
Yeah, she did.
everything here is about Kohberger.
Yep. You're right.
Is not about the community. It's not about the prosecution. It's not about no one but Kohberger at this day today. And at this day today, as we speak, with everything the prosecution has allowed the defense team to take a look at, is nothing there that indicates that Kohberger has any doing with these murderers. no connection whatsoever. His innocence is certified right now, this day today, by the defense team standing tall in court and screaming from the top of their lungs, "We believe on Bryan Kohberger innocent." What's your take on that?
It was, a weight was lifted off of me for some reason, because it was like, finally, somebody has said that. There was one other time when she humanized him for me, and she called him by his name rather
Yes.
than the defendant. She humanized him by calling him Bryan or Mr. Kohberger.
Yes.
And today was that second moment for me when she said that he was.
Yes,
No.
I believe there is a lot of people very upset right now when they make that statement today. It gotta
Oh,
be
I'm
people
sure.
like scratching their head, like what the heck just happened here. So let's pay
I'm sure.
attention and listen to Bill Thompson making an issue out of a non-issue. And in particular, it's sad to say that the judge give merits to the prosecution argument. Let's listen.
Honor, there is absolutely no question, but that those questions are disseminating by means of communication evidence expected.
By the way, Holly, whenever you want me to stop the film, let me know. And whenever you have a take to share with the community, let me know. It's a pleasure.
Okay. Thank you.
To be presented, evidence that could be or would be inadmissible at trial. And I will say there are a number of these representations placed in the form of a question, but representations of fact that are not true or that would not be offered at trial, or the performance and results of examination tests. And these questions specifically refer to DNA testing. Now, I recognize that the defense says, well, all of this information is out there in the public media somewhere, but that misses the point. That's assuming that every person in Latah County who is called has followed all of this nonsense in social media, has followed extensive coverage. There are people who consciously avoid reading coverage or listening to coverage about this case because they don't want to.
What's the chances of that?
On.
No.
On pins and needles waiting to be called for that jury.
Miss Holly, it's like the nature of a human is not curiousness. Is not like, oh, they're not curious. It happened. A massacre happened, and you look
town?
at in your town, which is very small at that. So you know everyone and everyone.
Yes.
So
yeah, I come from small town like that, and you don't think that something like this would be we would be talking about this every day.
Listen,
24/7.
is grannies calling grannies and aunties and, hey, listen, go to the mountains and go talk to, you know what I'm saying? Like they'll let people know what's going on, especially when it's in their locality. Like that argument, if you ask me, just in my personal opinion, it was a baseless argument. It was really nothing there, though. I don't know if you agree with that, but
I do.
in my opinion, when he tried to make it seem like people gonna purposely not look at a case with knowing that the nature of a human of being curious,
right,
that
right.
didn't
It's like
make
not
no
looking
sense.
at a train wreck.
Right.
That's the fallacy of the position defense is taking here. So what the agents of the defense have done is they have gone out and interrogated 400 citizens of Latah County and embedded in them facts specific to this case, some of which are not even true, some of which would not be admissible in court. And those people, whether they had heard that information before or not, are now saturated with that information. That is exactly what the non-dissemination order was intended to prohibit.
Objection, objection, objection. I would have stand in that court. I'm Taylor. I don't know. Girl, listen, you need me on your team. I'll be like,
I know.
stop, stop, stop this shit right here. What? Judge, please don't tell me that you're listening and nodding your head to what he's talking about. I just seen you.
I know. That was
He
scaring me.
he's nodding his head like, yeah, you got some base and fundament in what you talking about, man. That's my boy.
Right? Right?
You know when mom and dad had already their mind made up,
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and the kids got to play catch up to find out what's the deal.
yeah.
That's what it seems here. Like the judge and Bill Thompson already have everything mapped out. They
Yeah.
know what's the strategy to follow. Yeah, you go ahead, you say that, I got you. You know, we bounce off each other, we good.
Yeah.
Because the only reason for me to think the John Judge, will even take in consideration Bill Thompson's argument is because they both incompetent. Why they incompetent? Because how can you not know what's out there in the media about this one particular case that you are addressing in court? You have to have, you as a judge, you have to have your own team on top of what's going on. Like, it seems like judge is depending from the prosecution and dependent from the defense teams to get to know what he knows.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we see incompetence, because the
Yep.
judge have and must have his own team of advisors and investigators that he keep him to the 100% soaking on all information that what's going on, even more because he's a judge. So the information they're gonna bring to him is crystal clear. It's not like the information they're gonna bring to the prosecution that it could be polluted by a misprocedure within the investigation. Because if the judge approach the investigation with his team, and like he said he was about to do, well, if I could help you with the discovery in any way possible, well, you were supposed to do that long time ago. What you mean?
Right?
Like, what you talking about? You're supposed to have a team that represents you, that this is the case that you are taking part of in court, and you addressing this case. You got to have your own team of experts, because whatever
Mm-hmm.
you don't know about this case, you need to know. And you cannot depend from the defense team to know things. You cannot depend from the prosecution to know things, because you don't know if their information at some point, either or, if that was the case, is corrupted.
Exactly.
So that's when the
Exactly.
judge got to have his own team. They will go and check on the prosecution side of things, gonna check on the defense side of things, and they are gonna be the mediators for the judge. So like that, when the information comes to the judge, why Bill Thompson have to push a motion at last minute that he know already, as soon as the judge see it, is gonna authorize and gonna froze everything
Mm-hmm.
with no articulation, with no comeback from the defense and nothing. That's and then
Oh,
between the judge and the prosecution, they bounce from each other, arguing about due process is not being violated here. What you mean is being violated since he came out of Pennsylvania?
yes.
It- due
Hard in
process
there.
due process was violated while Bryan Kohberger was still in Pullman, and the cops and prosecution have what they have, the same thing that they have right now against it. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same things that they have while he was for a whole month in Pullman.
Mm-hmm.
They only interview him once, and that's it. They had a whole month. They didn't do nothing until this man left and make him look like he's running away from the nothing that they have. As soon as they got a warrant for an arrest, as soon as they get
Mm-hmm.
the judge to sign it, because remember, this is not the federal court. This
Nope.
is anyone get a sandwich on this one.
Mm-hmm.
So they stamp it with minimum probable cause. They arrest the guy, and as soon as you get the body and we calm everybody else, then now we're just gonna delay and just make a mockery out of this whole situation. Miss Holly Martin, I see here and I just look at the screen sometimes and it's like, are we serious talking about this right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Big shout out to Tribe Collective. Thank you for being here. Very appreciate it. Pure Hopper Ball, Mr. Thompson. Yes, indeed. Mr. Thompson right now not looking good at all. Miss Holly, anything else that you want to add up to that, to those comments?
Oh no, I agreed 100% with what you were saying.
Thank you. Though. I appreciate you though.
I'm just giddy over this whole hearing today. I mean,
Yeah, we believe me, we sit here for hours to break this down. And so when we sit here to talk to not just our content creator friends, but also when we talk to the community, we have like the best takes that we can of our capabilities though. I appreciate you for being here. Tribe Collective, Integrated. Come on. Yes, thank you, Tribe Collective. Thank you for being here.
That is reckless conduct, and it's outrageous. They can ask us.
He said, "It's outrageous." No.
Survey, and they can ask people, what do you know about the Bryan Kohberger case? What have you heard about the Bryan Kohberger case?
That he guilty.
oh, yeah, how dare they ask that?
Right.
What do you think about the Bryan Kohberger case? Do you have an opinion as to whether he's guilty or not guilty? Why do you think that? They can ask all those questions, legitimate survey questions if you want to do.
He said legitimate questions, right? Which is proven. They proved today that they legit. They prove it today that they legit. And not just that, but they also prove that everything that they making a concern about, it's the same stuff that is out there.
Yep.
So hold on, let's see what he got to say here real quick.
A legitimate survey.
Which is a legitimate survey. You see, just those questions, he's trying to make the emphasis of this is not legitimate because these questions right here are violating the gag order. But everything that is shared on those questions and also in the way that it's being broken down to them is unsealed.
Mm-hmm.
Is unsealed.
Their expert witness even said that he took his information from the PCA.
And you know, the only way that Bill Thompson will have an argument about this case, about this particular situation, is if in those questionnaires, anything on the gag order as we speak today, anything in effect right now as we speak, if any of that would have hit the questionnaire, then he has an argument.
Absolutely. 100%. Had there been any questions about the IGG, they
Cheers. Cheers.
exactly. Cheers. But yes, absolutely. Then he would have had a good point.
And talking about the IGG, now that we mentioned it, it ain't inadequate, and I don't believe that it's ethical that the judge has seen the totality of that report, but the defense team has not seen it yet, and they taking all these steps to get to the information. Like, oh, what you need to tell me what you're gonna do with this and whatnot. What you take on that? What you take on the judge knowing every single detail, even though he probably don't know what he's looking at.
Right.
Probably he don't even have no idea what he's looking at, but he have
Yeah.
seen and understand whatever he understand out of that. What's your take on that? The judge knowing, but the defense not knowing.
I don't agree at all. At all. Regardless of what they're trying to protect. I don't know. But for the judge to have that information, that is possibly making him either possibly biased. I mean, we don't know. We
I
don't
could see
know. We
that.
don't
I
know.
could I could see that because we don't know in the way they put that IgG together
Yeah,
to make it believable. Because remember, this is a process that is crafted. This is not a process that is organic. The
right,
IgG is a process created by man. It's not
correct.
organic. When I mean organic, it's like you get the results out of simplicity,
Hmm.
out of fact.
Right.
IgG, you have to build it and create it and put it together to make it be what you want it to be. Like you could
Yeah.
do it like that if you really have the intentions, let's say, to just catch a body, to just get a warm body in jail, even though you're not going to use it later on in trial. But this is the problem, because yeah, arrest this man due to the IgG.
Yes, exactly.
That was that
Exactly.
that was the
And for
only
them to not
thing. Yeah, go
show that
ahead.
to her, for them to not show that to her, they are preventing her from seeing how they got to her client.
Yes, yes. And the most troubling problem with that is like, okay, my client is arrested due to the IgG. That's a fact. How can that IgG is not relevant now? So as soon as you make the IgG not relevant in this case, you needed to free my client automatically, because the only reason why my client is arrested right now is because the IgG results is the only reason why they arrest him. Soon as the prosecution made it clear in court that the IgG is not going to be used in trial against Bryan Kohberger, they needed to free Bryan Kohberger because it's the only reason why he's locked up. Nothing
Yep.
else outside of the IgG spectrum indicates that Bryan Kohberger was even close to this place when these murders occurred.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so to me, it baffles me when now we have the Bill Thompson. Then that now when everybody's thinking like, okay, now we're moving forward, we're gonna have a hearing to possibly move it out of Layton County. The experts said it very clear today.
Mhm.
Layton County is
Very
biased. It
absolutely.
is biased. This case is a no go. Is a no go in this case. Like we cannot keep it here in Layton County, and Bryan Kohberger gonna get a fair trial. So
No.
then now all this procedure is just to confirm something that they already know, if the survey is adequate to be part of these procedures. And then also, because in my personal opinion, they not gonna get nothing out of this. What's gonna happen is just time wasted, because I believe that the judge have, not that he wants, he have to take a decision accordingly the Superior Court, because he know already that Ann Taylor is gonna bring it back to Superior Court until she got a
Yeah.
case and record. She gonna keep
Yes, she
bothering
is.
Superior Court with what's going on in district until Superior Court will be like, okay, let's handle this matter.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's a urgency in this case. It's a
Mhm.
urgency. Like just think about a man that has been locked up for a year, and at this day today, whatever the prosecution has shared to you is nothing. That tells you that yeah, you have even partaken on this.
I honestly, when I think that they should have let him go, and when they pulled all that crap with the grand jury stuff, I truly thought it was going to end there.
You see
That's
that
how far back I had hoped
and
that
you
it
know
was
what's
going to end.
crazy? I believe in the grand jury, which again is sealed,
Hmm.
and I don't know this information. Is sealed, and I repeat, I don't know this information, but my firm belief is they did utilize the IgG to get the comeback on this and the secret indictment,
That they
because
did.
because there's nothing else there.
Right.
It's nothing else that they could present. Because remember, they didn't present it nothing exoneratable. They just presented whatever they had. Whatever they had is disputable in court, like the videotapes, pictures. Nothing indicates that that's Kohberger nor his car. Then the cell phone data don't even tell you nothing neither. And it's not even available. It was not even available for the secret indictment.
Right.
Because the cast is not available right now, and you cannot take a decision on the secret indictment with a preliminary report, because you don't know the details on anything.
I know.
So they use a preliminary report, which it would the prosecution knew that they were about to get nowhere with that if they present it, right? Big shout out to Lisa Thompson. I feel the same about the grand jury. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here, Lisa. I very appreciate it. We have the original Hollie Martin with us today, blessing us with her presence and giving us her takes and her analysis
Thank you
on
for
this
letting me
very.
hop on.
No, thank you for being here with us in this very national, worldwide case that is being gathering highlights outside of the United States. Thank you for that, Lisa. Thank you for being here. So again, grand jury comeback. I believe that they utilized the IGG to convince, because it was the only thing that they could say. You cannot debate his blood, his DNA being there.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the jury will not know no better.
No.
Because then if they say okay, so the cell phone information is not adequate. The pictures and videos that you're showing me is not telling me that that's the guy. So now we got two things that are not useful. And what's the third one? The DNA.
Yep.
So
And juries go deaf when they hear DNA. I swear to
yeah,
God.
yeah. And this is why I believe the judge is protecting that whole process. Because I believe that the judge also denied that motion without a hearing, because they wanted the grand jury procedures to be exposed and have an expose about it,
Mhm.
even though if it needed to be enclosed in private, but they wanted an expose of the whole procedure. And they know for a fact, if they found the IGG and that grand jury is dismissible.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. This is what judge knows, because we cannot act like these people don't know this. This is very high knowledgeable people that have done this for years.
Yes.
They know their way around. They know their tricks. So if judge knew, excuse me, in the same way the name Kopaka came out of his mouth. So in the same way, judge knows everything about everything in the way he making himself look like. He knows that the IGG was used in it, because he's seen it. He see the
Yes.
grand jury procedures, and this is something that he hiding. Because if the judge seen that the IGG was used there, and it was the only thing that made a comeback of a grand jury, that he was supposed to dismiss this and make the prosecution get back to work. Because they utilize the IGG that is not worth for nothing in court,
Right.
but they basing their whole case on that. We arrested this guy because of IGG, but now we're getting the IGG out the way, and we have this man trapped in there.
Yep.
Because that's what it is. They have him trapped.
Yeah.
Let's continue and listen a little bit more to what I'm gonna be here for a few more minutes. I just want to make sure that the people listen to Bill Thompson articulating an issue that is not an issue, which is very important for me to prove to the people that Ann Taylor is the best attorney for the job, in the way she's been handling this case, and in the way she's being railroaded by the prosecution and the court, and in the way she's showing the courage, not just her, but her team,
Yeah.
in the same pace, in the same page, to defend this guy that we don't know, a total stranger named Bryan Kohberger. being humanized today for the first time by the defense team. He needed that. He needed that. He needed someone to be on his side. I could only imagine him where he was screaming from the top of his lungs inside of that courthouse
Oh,
without saying nothing, you know?
I know. I know. I felt it.
So listen,
Oh,
it's tough. It's tough because I tell you it's tough when we see here and witness, because again, I fell victim of the system years ago.
mhm.
They try to blame me for things that I knew in the back of my mind. I knew I'm innocent. It's not that I have a legal loophole to beat this. It's that I'm innocent, and I'm gonna take it to the end. I told her, I told my lawyer, listen, I'm gonna fight this. We're gonna fight this. If you don't know what to do, I tell you what to do. Literally, I'm telling
Mhm.
my lawyer this, like, bro, if you don't know what you're doing, I tell you. I probably, if I give you what I have, might guide you the right way. You know what I'm saying? Which again, believe me, I sat there like on brainstorms, and many times I see my lawyer looking at me like, "Do you study law?" And I was like, "No, I just know that I'm innocent, so I have to sit in the library to read and get informed on my case to see how can I defend myself being innocent."
Right.
So I can only imagine Bryan Kohberger being happy after his defense team came with this great grandstand today about his innocence, which I think is very important right now for his case at this moment. Let's listen. I think the final arguments of Bill Thompson on his issue non-issue. We listened to Ann Taylor, and I think we're gonna leave it there because we are around the hour. I want to keep it like in the 2 hour and a half mark to not have everybody, you know what I'm saying, for
Yeah.
too long,
Absolutely.
because I know everybody have things to do. But again, let's listen to these guys and these shambles that they got here.
Of public sentiment. But these questions go far beyond that. And I recognize that that it is represented, that the survey questioning here in Latah County with those 400 residents has been completed, but they're already saying they want to take these questions out to other possible veneers.
Yeah. Did I lose you, Jrod? Lisa Thompson, I agree. I'll wait a couple more minutes here.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Um,
You're okay.
it was what I was saying. What I was saying, they try to make an illusion out of their delusion. I don't know if
Mhm.
that makes sense to you.
Does.
They you know, they forcing false reality, conversational false reality that could only happen when team A is in cahoot with team B. Because then when you speak, I know what you're coming from. This
Mhm.
is why it seems like the concern from the prosecution was big enough, and the judge made it big enough to make a stay and delay the process to get it out of Layton County. But this is all to disturb the process. This is all to put narrative. This is all to delay justice and delay the whole due process for this case with legal loopholes that it should be totally illegal. Because soon as it's like, think about it, you're a judge, right? When you know the tricks, You're a judge. You have seen it all from the prosecution. It's not the first time that you see Bill Thompson. It's not the first time that you see Ann Taylor. You already map them out. As a judge, you map them out. You know when they use certain tactics and when, and the reasons why they use those tactics. They've been around each other for years. Even the judge admit that they've been around for years, and this is the first time in the first case that he see them two bumping heads. But it's a reason for that, and I'm glad that he noted that.
Mhm.
I'm glad that he noted that in record, because he unconsciously making a record for Ann Taylor,
Yep. Yes,
admitting admitting like, well, the malicious prosecution, it could be also interfering from the court. You know what I'm saying? Like, judge, it's egos. It's egos that it comes with all this. Like, when you get so high on your own ego, it's like you getting
Mhm.
high up your own supply. You know, and your ego is just supply, and you just intoxicate yourself with your ego, and you think that due to people higher ups than you are backing you up on your fuckery. That doesn't mean that we not seeing that you being used as a tool,
Right.
and we know that you only being used. You might get in trouble, they won't, but they willing to gamble their own careers and their own success, gamble with that, just to try to give favors to people that they probably own favors to already.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? You remember you owe me a big one, so now you gotta go with the plan. This is what's going on, okay?
Mm-hmm. And that is so sad. It is so sad because you're talking about this is a death penalty, people. God.
Yeah, is someone going could lose their life because these misbehaviors and mishandling of this case, though. Let's see what they gotta say real quick.
Doing the same thing in other potential jury pools that they're doing with our own. That is
Now he said, no, they want to do this with other counties. Yeah, like what you mean? Yeah, this needs to be done to like that. We know where we could go. That's about it. And if you ask me, they cannot keep anywhere they go around surroundings. Listen, I'm gonna put it like this. And the only way that Kohberger will get out of this is with absolute exoneration.
Right.
That means that is irrefutable, undisputed proof that he don't have nothing to do with this. Because as long as the state could make this little argument to
Oh
twist
yeah.
the jury, and the jury fall, especially if the jury is biased and they waiting for a key word to apply. Yeah.
The
I
count.
don't think, yeah. If again, then the only way he will be free and dismissal is with absolute proof that he don't have nothing to do with this, no play, no nothing whatsoever. This is my firm belief. Again, they could find him guilty in few years, and I will tell you the same thing. Well, I knew this could happen if they keep this in Idaho. Yeah, I don't believe that nowhere around their locality.
No.
I don't believe that, because remember their reach is a statewide. They
Yeah.
have fraternities and sororities and peoples in places of power everywhere, not just in Idaho, but
I
in
know.
other places too. It's like we playing like 2021 catch up. You know, it's just to the point that if they delay and the way they delay this, I could only imagine this is why last live stream I think I said that Bryan Kohberger will have full exoneration in 2027. So at some point January, which actually we wrote it down to Joanne and Amy Conway, we wrote it down. that I made a forecast, and I make a very strong opinion, and I said, just in the way everything is being looking at right now, in the way I see it, by the time they let these men go, it's gonna be at some point January 2027.
It's possible. Sadly, that makes.
Because
I mean, that's sad, but you're absolutely right.
just look at in the biggest, and just this is like the preliminaries before trial, to see
Right.
if this courthouse is suitable for trial, to see if this courthouse has the amenities to fulfill this type of trial, to see if the jury it stands trial, and stuff like that. But then now that we thinking that everything is moving forward, soon as the prosecution stopped the progress, because again, if you ask me, the judge was supposed to not have this stay and let everything fluidly let it be, because again, he said the damage was already done. So what we accomplishing, we having a stay. Now it's convenient. Now the stay is convenient because it's an issue to take care of this stay, because now they
Right.
have next month. Look at next month, everything stay until next month. They can't do no survey, they could do nothing. Or whatever the defense was supposed to do is on stop until next month. And then next month, after they just take a decision, then it starts the process back again. And I believe they will the only way this is gonna move forward and will accelerate the process is if the judge admits these questions, if the judge let it be due to insufficient information that's adequate, that it confirms that all questions is none of that is part of the gag order. Everything
Right.
is out, not just shared from the media, but it's also shared through the paperwork.
All over.
Right. So I believe the judge should. I don't know if you're gonna do that, but he should allow the survey keep moving along
Hmm.
and let it be. And then the next court day is gonna be for the motion to move it out of Layton County or not. But that right there took 2 months to get there when you could be there last in a month. Because you're in May, in May you were supposed to decide for a change of venue,
Mm.
but then now you have to wait to July
God.
to get to something that it was already in motion. But just because you created an issue that it was a non-issue, and the judge stamp you concerned due to the lack of either information or due to the biasness that it was already pre-programmed to be, either or.
Hmm.
Okay, we don't want to blame the court about foul play and stuff like that, but they making us think that with what they doing. We're not taking a argument, we're not having a discussion or having a take on things that are not there, that are not visible. I
Right.
cannot tell you about something that I'm not seeing right now. Let's say, for example, 1 second, please. We got Lisa Thompson. We said,
I was wondering that too about the judge, if the judge changes, because I think he wants this.
he said it.
I
He said it. He said it. He got personal reasons to keep the trial in Layton County. The judge said on record, actually, in this same film, and this footage right here, I think even this one, they were, yeah, I think it's on this one. He said it. He got personal reasons to keep the trial here in Layton County, and then I said it. What's your personal reasons? So that means you've been
right.
buying it. This has to do with this case. It doesn't have to do with your personal issues.
Yeah.
So when
No,
you're
it's
speaking
this
on
case.
record, yeah, when you're speaking on record, you saying to the court that you have personal issues with moving this court case out of Layton County. So you're talking about you have biasness, personal problems with it moving this out of Layton County. That show biasness. That show that you are involved in something fishy
Yeah.
with the prosecution.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it should not occur. It should
No.
not occur. Like, we should have a judge that is fully informed.
Mhm.
So when the motions come, a late motion come from the prosecution, okay, it's a late motion. It's not just a late motion. Now you have to consider what you're going to do about it. If it's any merits to this argument right here, then without even waiting for the defense written answer back, the judge take a decision without even waiting for the defense team to give you their take. They give
Yes.
you no kind of information. And then Bill Thompson said, no, but the judge is authorized. Oh, again, it's a legal dirty loophole. Because
Yeah.
yes, the judge could do that, but it's a must. It's a must. And the only way that could be implemented is if it's enough basis from both parties to that to occur, to have a illegal stay, because it's a legal illegal stay through legal loopholes in court. That's malicious. You in
Yeah.
cahoot with the judge, knowing that you're gonna put a late motion that the judge, you already know the judge is gonna pass,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're disturbing the whole process of the defense team progress. Because again, if prosecution don't have nothing to hide and they have their man, they shouldn't be where we at right now.
No.
Because it don't matter what they will say in the public view. It don't matter what's out there. It don't matter if people hate Bryan Kohberger without even knowing him. It don't matter. What it matters is if the prosecution got enough evidence to cook this man, cook him,
Exactly.
cook
Exactly.
him.
And if you have that evidence, then what's the big deal?
Exactly.
And today, Brian's defense shouted it. Our client is innocent. Well, then why isn't the DA bringing us to the table that all of this information is why he knows that Bryan Kohberger is his guy?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Because here's the thing. We know that this is all legal tactics that they use to stall. But when you use these tactics to stall for an educated mind that knows about court procedures, we know you lacking.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're stalling. You stalling,
Yeah.
and then while you stalling, you try to make the prosecution, the prosecution is making the defense team look in cahoot with the court,
Yep.
making the defense look like the defense team are the ones trying to procrastinate and try to delay when we on record have seen the prosecution say many times, we're not ready, judge. We're not ready.
Right. Yep.
Even today, even say embarrassment when we have the expert giving a class to the prosecution about what's going on with this case. And Bill Thompson got up and said, Your Honor, just so you know, we're not ready for this. It's like, what you mean you're not ready? When you make that motion, when you make that motion and you created this issue, was for the same hearing we seen today. Not this one on screen, but the hearing that we seen today. When you created that motion and that issue, it was to get, if you have any base and fundament, it was to get where you were today. Today was the day for you to show your expose and show the ramifications of your articulation for this debate. You say, Judge, I hope you know we're not ready. We should be ready at some point next month, and da 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 da. And so while we're here,
Yep.
Why Judge didn't tell Bill Thompson? So why we here, Bill? Why you make it? Why you make an issue that the judge should know is not an issue there? Because he know for a fact that if the defense team do anything out of protocol, they're gonna go against their client. So if you ask me, the court should be like giving them the rope to hang themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate, Lisa. I appreciate. Yeah. Like if you ask me, the judge should be like salivating and can't wait for them to mess up the gag order.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you see that you there and you about to articulate what we're here for, you tell the judge, we're not ready today for this expose and to I guess fight the debate with the defense team or whatnot, because defense team were ready. And then Bill Thompson saying, "Oh, we're not ready for this." Well, but it's like, okay, so if you're not ready, why you made an issue? When you made it an issue, you were supposed to have all your articulations already, because you should know what the defense team was about to bring to the table. That is the same thing you complaining, but you're gonna tell the judge you're not ready. In the same way you have tell the judge that you're not ready with a discovery.
How many times? 15 times?
But they wanna get a day for trial, but they can't put it together about anything else. How can you try to get a day in trial or a court date to start the trial when the prelims you put in every single blockage for every procedure before trial? Why? Like again, if you have base and fundament, we would not be talking about this right now. If the if prosecution had a matter there, cool. It's okay. That stays good. The only reason
Yep.
why this stay is good is because it was forced by prosecution
Mhm.
on the court's name. Because this one state is not even on the prosecution side. So it's not, it cannot be used against the prosecution, or the prosecution had created these many states or whatnot. It was a state influenced by the prosecution that the judge took decision upon. We no comeback from the defense, which again does not due process. Um, due process is being violated. That's to the 100% or whatnot. But let's listen to the final articulation of this non-articulated day of court.
Far beyond acceptable. These are questions that, quite frankly, might not be able to ask in voir dire, much less into an uncontrolled, unsupervised environment without any bounds, and just recklessly feeding this information, which is sensitive.
So that tells us that was the intentions that you have when you shared that information with the public, because you knew what the news media outlets were about to do with that information. So you just playing your own self. Because the same thing that he talking about the defense team is the same things that applied to him, because he was the one that let go all that information to the media. It was the state. It was the state sources, not defense sources. Because that's the only sources that the news media outlets use, the state.
Yep. And they showed that so bright and proud. Him up there doing his press conference and telling the media to, go ahead and use your sources.
But he's here on top of his lungs complaining about something that he started. And just in the this is the problem. We know that it's sources from the state that have pushed this narrative on the media. That's a fact. That's a fact. So in a way, Bill Thompson talking about this right here, right now, at this moment, it lets you know what the intentions that he had when he let that information go to be out there. But then now he complaining out of their own monster that he created. it makes no sense that you're gonna be in court arguing about this when you're the one that created it.
It's particularly sensitive when it comes to information that the state does not believe is true, or the state does not believe would be admissible or would be offered at trial. On the issue of whether information already publicly available isn't included in your honor's order, which it clearly is because it doesn't say otherwise, we know that there is no exception in the court's order saying if the information is already publicly known, it's okay to disseminate it again. And indeed, that would be reckless for the very reasons that I just articulated, Judge. We would then be feeding information that is potentially prejudicial or that could affect the open-mindedness of prospective jurors to people who may not have heard it before. That's completely reckless.
Object, Judge. I object. I think it's been very clear in the way that they putting these to court. It's crazy. I cannot comprehend how can he even say that these violates the gag order when nothing that is out there even on those questions is inside of the gag order as we speak. As he's making this issue, is nothing out there that he just said on those questions that is inside of the gag order right now. It's all out there.
And so, Your Honor, based on that, we think this needs to come to a stop. We think if the defense wants to continue doing survey work, which they are welcome to do, given what we've seen here, that the questions need to be approved by the court before they go out. And the questions certainly should not include the types of questions, fact-specific questions that have been delivered to 400 citizens of Latah County. That's where we're standing right now, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. So then how can we compare unless you use the same questions? That's the problem. I mean, the damage has been done.
Well, that's one argument to make, but we don't want to perpetuate the damage that was done. And if they want to do a comparison, then they could have another survey in Latah County and do a responsible survey questionnaire instead of one tainting this people. And frankly, they should ensure that they don't go to the same phone numbers that they preloaded with this other factual information.
So
make sure that in other words, Bill Thompson wants to write the survey questions and he wants to pre-select the people that you call.
Yes. Technically, that's again, he's talking as he has never faced a survey before.
Right?
Because again,
the judge even said, I expected one.
And the thing is that if when the judge said, well, the damage was already done, why you couldn't think that before you make that state? And let the prosecution do their own survey and compare it to the survey of the state that's where they were supposed to be before May. No, now we have a state that is gonna put everything back after summer. Because July is already for me like the end of summer.
Yep, pretty much.
So results that we could have in May for the change of venue now is being all delayed all the way into July to get to where we at. It just
when they make their legitimate survey inquiries. The defense's people brought this on themselves. It's not.
Oh, it's their fault. It's their fault. You know, when one of your child tell you, well, I told him to not do it. But they were part of the mess.
Told them.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, well, listen, they brought this up on themselves. Can I have more candy? Yeah, like Oh, mom, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. They did it to themselves.
Oh,
I created a monster that I'm complaining about, and the defense did it. In what world? Like, is I don't wanna go there and get to the possible mental health issue behind it, but
yeah.
it could be seen that way, but it's purposely done and purposely methodically done to be like this. Like, these people are not this dumb. This is
No, they
just a
can't.
show.
Yeah, this can't be. They can't be. They can't be.
It cannot be it. Like, it cannot be it having a prosecutor that doesn't make no sense and on the argument, and the judge is looking at him like, yeah, you got this, buddy. That's my man's.
I'll
You
give you
know?
a call tonight.
Yeah, bro. You know, because that's what it seems like.
It's not the state's fault. Nobody had control over this other than the folks working for the defense.
But you see, in the same breath that he just said in the beginning of his argument, that he understand that the defense team and Ann Taylor didn't took no part on the survey. In the same breath, he said that they are.
Mm-hmm.
He just said that right now,
Yep.
right here. He just said in the beginning, he said, like, we don't believe that Ann Taylor and her defense team had anything to do with the questionnaires, which the guy today admitted that it don't matter what she would have said, he would have done it his way anyway.
Brought this on themselves.
He brought
It's
this
not
to
the state's
himself.
fault. Nobody had control over this other than the folks working for the defense. They made their bed. They got to live with it.
Oh, he gotta add. He gotta add. Oh, they make their bed, Judge. Judge, they make their bed. You know when you say that when they make their bed, they got to deal with it, right? So
That's right.
I said that tactically in court. I said that tactically in court. You know, Judge, they make their bed. You know what that means, right? It's final.
I mean, frankly, if we were in the commercial context, we would say, not only will you do this over and do it correctly, but we will not pay you for the work you did that was so outrageously wrong.
Wow. He took a notch. He took it up a notch. You have to redo it, and we are not gonna pay you. So whatever we pay you already, we're gonna fine you to get that money back.
Yeah.
This is
Got to bring in those dollar signs.
ladies and gentlemen. This is crazy. Even Bill Thompson admitted, what was this today? He admitted, like, oh, I don't care how much money I gotta spend. I don't care how long it's gonna take.
Yes, he was so sincere that his duty is to this court.
So then if you don't care how much it's gonna cost, or how long it's gonna take, why they blaming the defense team out of any stalling? Oh, this stalling is costing money. It's costing money because this is their argument against the defense team. Oh, it's costing money and this and that. But then today he's saying the same breath, I don't care how long it takes, how much money we got to spend. Because he's talking about the defense team, about the state. But the state could spend whatever money they could spend. But then the defense team gotta be on the muscle. We got Lisa Thompson say it's okay when being leaked, but not when used by the defense. How could the defense have no right to use it now? Yes, exactly. Exactly. And another thing that I want to make clear, now that you mentioned that, leaks, if you realize it has not been no leaks, because to have a leak, it have to be something that is on the evidence pile that is being leaked to the community, either in favor or against Kohberger. To have a leak, it has to be under the gag order right now as we speak for that to become a leak.
Mhm.
When we're talking about YouTube leaks are way different than leaks of gag order. Why? Because the leaks, the people been talking about Linda Lane,
Mm.
that's not a leak. That doesn't even have nothing to do with this case. People could tell.
Yeah.
It don't matter if you see lights turning around in that video. It does not tell you nothing.
Mhm.
It's not even confirmed. Is that footage? It was from that same day in question. People was talking about that leak. It was from Steve Goncalves. He leaked that. This and that. Lies. Cap. Because guess what? If that was a serious leak, don't you think the prosecution would have mentioned it in court?
Absolutely. Oh
Don't you,
my God.
don't you think the prosecution would have said already? Would have mentioned Linda Lane leaks?
Oh, he'd be all over it.
Can people now understand what I've been telling you for months and months since just started the Linda Lane bullshit? People wasting their time looking at Linda Lane and sounds of Linda Lane, different type of videos of Linda Lane. People wasting hours and hours talking about Linda Lane. Congratulations, you have played yourself.
Oh man.
Oh, that was a leak. No, it's not. I told him, Miss Hollie. I told him months. I told him when they came out with the Linda Lane shit. All those content creators that came with the Linda Lane shit, making something out of nothing, just like the prosecution, just for clicks and likes on YouTube and to twist narratives. I told them this is not no leak. It doesn't have nothing to do with the Bryan Kohberger case. Because if it had to do anything with this case, and this evidence was under the gag order, Bryan Kohberger will be free just out of that.
Mhm.
Because they
Yep.
will find out who leaked that shit, and it's an automatic dismissal.
Yep. That's right.
But people want to say, "Oh yeah, Linda Lane, yeah," wasting time, saliva, and people's viewership time on content creators that don't have no common sense, lying to the people, talking about Linda Lane that don't have nothing to do with the case that you talking about. You having your title Idaho 4 Bryan Kohberger case, but you talking about Linda Lane?
And my time is valuable because I can't get that time back.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Big shout out to Joanne. Joanne said the
Hey,
stocking
Joanne.
the stocking rumors came from Steve Jrod. Yes, yes,
I
that's
yep.
yes. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I had heard way in the beginning, they I don't know if this is what you're referring to, Joanne, but I had heard way in the beginning them talking about how she was always on hypervigilance. I mean, she was constantly worried about, being followed or stalked and would call her mom or something. So I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to, but I do remember her parents mentioning that.
Yes, I totally agree with that take because I
But
remember in
that
the big. Go ahead.
he does. I'm sorry, Jrod.
No, you're good. You're good.
He does not. I have not seen any indicators at all from anything that he's a stalker. Nothing.
No,
He
and you
has
know what's
no behaviors.
and what's particular there. They made an emphasis today about that. They made an emphasis about that particular the stocking.
Yep.
The stocking came is like Johan said. That came from them. That came from saying that the Kiely was being stocked and stuff like that, and and the problem that they have with that, right, is like they talking about social media stalking. That's a problem. They talking about social media stalking. That doesn't exist. It doesn't
Nope.
exist, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a social media account that everybody could see, and somebody's looking at it, they're not stalking you. You decided to put your pictures, your information. It's a reason why you out there, because you want to be found. You want people to see you. You want people to reach out to you. That's why you are in social media. Big shout out to Joanne. Thank you for being here. She's
Yes, Joanne.
amazing. She's
She's a
amazing.
sweetheart. Very
Guys,
sweetheart.
make sure that y'all go and click like, subscribe to Miss Hollie Martin, please. Thank you so much. And
Thank you,
Joanne said,
Jrod, so much.
always,
I
always.
I was watching that and I saw you earlier and I thought, oh my God, I forgot. So I am so sorry I was late.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it. It's so much appreciate you having the time with us here. It is an honor. And again, Joanne said, no, Bill Thompson confirmed it in court today. Yes, indeed. He did confirm that the allegations about the stalking, but then that's when the defense team made it very clear that at this day today is no evidence or none of that. Like again, for the defense team, you cannot just say, well, that's the defense team, that's what they do. No, that's not what they do. Inclusive hold on, let me see here. Joanne said, you know what else? I think Elisa Maytha says something about the 12 ping to Moscow and being not true and coming back the next morning. Yes, yes. Actually, even the state law enforcement made a comment that they believe the Kohberger was not in the area around that time. Early in the morning, they were talking about that he was in the vicinity outside with the people. He was not there. Even law enforcement confirmed that he was not in the area. So again, and it's like you said, Johan, those 12 pings, the work of the cast from the FBI is not even available in totality. They just only have a preliminary. That with preliminaries, you know, the paper could hold anything that you put on it. You know what I mean? But when you get to see the works of it, then and that's what we haven't seen yet. The work on the cast and many other things that they have said. But again, I want to make an emphasis that for the defense team come out in court and make this statement. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. You make this show great, Lisa. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, John. Bet that cast info puts him somewhere else. That's why they won't turn it over. Ammo. Yes, yes. We believe the same thing though. That's why they delaying all this information because they have something to lose. You know, they actually have something to lose on the expose and discovering all this stuff. They know it's gonna be exonerated, but again, they want the public opinion to be where it's at right now, and this is why they're forcing these crazy narrative at this day today, which again for an open-minded person that it knows right from wrong and knows a little bit about court situational tactics, for the defense team to say today that they believe that Bryan Kohberger was innocent. They strongly believe on the innocence of Bryan Kohberger. That guy needed that. They needed
He
someone to
did.
believe in him. And
Yeah.
Ann Taylor and her team putting their name, their career,
Yep.
everything on the line. When they said that, that's a clear cut statement. Again, and I know people gonna say, well, defense team gonna say what the defense team is gonna say. No, defense team cannot just say anything because that'll be their reputation.
Yes, that was a big deal.
That's their reputation. Now you said that you believe strongly that with what you have in him right now as we speak, after all the work that you have done for a year and a half, you right now doing survey shit. So with what you have right now, far as a discovery, you said in court that you believe in Bryan Kohberger's innocence, strongly believe in Bryan Kohberger's innocence. And I believe that that's going to hit in the gut these content creators that don't believe in Ann Taylor. Because I know
Yeah.
we have one in particular that is very raspy voice and look like a biker. Um, I don't know. He seems like he's drunk all the time. I don't want to mention no names, but he say, "Oh, people must not know about public defenders. Public defenders, they just set you up for a plea bargain and that's it." So my comeback to that one content creator that I'm gonna keep it anonymous because he's really not worth it to not start, you know what I'm saying, itching for the beef, but not turning nothing down. But I think this one content creator gun his mouth a little bit too quick about Ann Taylor.
Yeah.
He gunned his mouth a little bit too quick about Ann Taylor. Cause he put a video not long ago talking about how garbage Ann Taylor is, and he believed that Ann Taylor's gonna crucify Bryan Kohberger. I could only imagine after he put that video out, and then today hear the defense team say, "We believe in Bryan Kohberger's innocence." That was a straight punch in the mouth for that
I
content
know.
creator. You know why? Because if he was what he said that he knows so much, public defenders work and get paid by the state. Yes, they do, but they have to follow
Yeah.
guidance. They have to follow rules. They have to follow case law. They can't just, especially on a case like this, they can't just do, you know, what he tried to say that public defenders are good for nothing. Probably the
Right.
ones that he used in the past. He probably had problems with public defenders in the past that he gave him few felonies and stuff like that. He probably does have problems with public defenders. But
Yeah.
this one particular public defender, Ann Taylor, smacked him in the mouth today. Soon as
Yes.
she stand up strong with her team, and her
She
team
did.
said, yeah, I want to, before I said that, I want to read Joanne say, I have to wonder if the DOJ is involved because defense team said we are working with many experts behind the scenes that don't know a lot of what we know. Oh, yes, totally agree. I
Yep.
believe that the defense teams have reached out to everyone.
And I'm gonna have to say goodnight, Jrod. I'm sorry. I've got to go tend to my dog.
Have a good night, Miss Holly. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being
I love you
here.
guys. Love you, Joanne.
You're not gonna miss much because we're about to close out.
Okay.
Thank you for
You
being
take
here. I
care.
appreciate you.
Love y'all.
Love ya. Bye bye.
Bye.
So in my closing arguments, the one particular content creator gunning his mouth, saying about how garbage was Ann Taylor. I guess Ann Taylor smacking him in the mouth with the reality that if as a public defendant she was trying to plead out, she would have not said today that she believed that Bryan Kohberger is 100% innocent. If in any type of shape or form Ann Taylor was thinking anything about mitigation, she would have not said nothing about innocence. And big shout out to Hollie Martin. Thank you for being here. Very appreciated. Hollie Martin is an amazing, amazing human being. Great content creator. Very appreciated. Thank you so much, Joanne. Yes, yes. And it's such a great day for BK. Again, he needed someone to stand by him. And again, if by any chance the defense team thought that they could have lost this case, they wouldn't said that. So for those content creators that believe that Ann Taylor is not up to task, her office is not even in the same location that Bill Thompson. Y'all fucking idiots. Y'all talking about that they coming out of the same office. No, they not, you fucking idiot. They don't come out of the same office. They might get paid out of the state, but they don't come out of the same office, you idiot. Just Google it. Google Ann Taylor's office and Google Bill Thompson's office. You fucking moron. Do your homework before you speak. Because again, we have made it very clear from the very beginning. The Bryan Kohberger is innocent and he being railroaded. And the Ann Taylor is the right person for the job. As always, your brother from another mother, your mother's favorite son, the black shit. I believe in you. Believe in yourself because I believe in you. And if I did it, you could do it too. I ain't nothing special. I believe that you're going to take the right decisions for yourself and for everyone around you. Big shout out to Joanne. Big shout out to everyone in the lobby. Shout out to Lisa and everyone that was here. Very appreciated. Thank you so much, guys. It's very, very, very appreciated. We're going to keep talking about this case, and we're going to have another live stream, and it's going to be about the same topic. We're going to break it down for those people that still don't comprehend the bottom line of this case. Joanne said, thank you, bro. You call it from day one. We knew BK was being railroaded. Yes, sis. And believe me, you've been there. You've been there analyzing this whole case with me. We probably did disagree a few little small things, but we knew the bottom line. This guy was being railroaded. I appreciate you so much, Joanne. Thank you for being here. I mean it. That means a lot. Make sure y'all subscribe to Jrod on Point. If y'all find any value in the conversation we have here, make sure you hit the Cash App. It'll be very appreciated. Make sure you click like, subscribe, share the content. And that'll be all for today. In this great live stream, it was a good one. Thank you for Miss Martin to make it an amazing live stream. We're going to be back. I'm going to schedule it pretty soon. You're going to see it. And we're going to get back to do some more work. Very appreciated. Thank you so much for everyone to be here. And as always, your brother from another mother, Jrod on Point. Love ya. Have a good day.